guys, today we're going to be taking a look at this 2012 Toyota Corolla. It's got the 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine. We're having some problems with the front brakes here. Mostly the driver's side. They seem to be hanging up, making some weird noises. So we're going to pull the tire off. We're going to inspect that all and see what's wrong. We got our floor jack here. We're going to go under there. And we're going to find a nice spot to jack the vehicle up from. And there's this front tow hook that I normally jack it up off of. And always make sure you got your rear brakes locked up, your parking brake. You don't want this thing sliding backwards on you. Once you get the tires up in the air, you want to get some jack stands put under it just in case the jack fails. Once you get jack stands in there, you can kind of put the car down a little bit, or all the way, depending. We're going to leave the jack under there though, just in case. Can never be too safe. So next, you want to get a flathead screwdriver or something so you can pop your hubcaps off. You want to kind of use some caution here so you don't break it. It is only plastic. There we go. So to remove your lug nuts, I found on my particular car it's a 13/16 socket. So either you can use a ratchet, you can use a breaker bar, or you can use an impact. Alright, and there is our brake assembly. So the rotor looks severely glazed over and there's something on the outer edge that is really chewing into it. So she's definitely gonna have to be replaced. Yeah, it feels really bad. We gotta pull our caliper off and there are two bolts back here. They're both 14 millimeter. There's one up there and there's one down here. So I'm gonna stick our little impact on it. There we go, just like that. That's the little guy. We're gonna come down here and do the same thing. There we go. There's also, so that's your main caliper right there, and then this is the caliper bracket. The caliper bracket also has to come off. There's two much larger bolts there behind. Those are probably gonna be the ones that give you the most problems because they're normally really seized on there. So we got our other socket on there. That's a 17 millimeter for both those caliper bracket bolts. So we're gonna try zipping those off. Unfortunately, it won't take them off. Like I said, they're normally really seized on there. After a couple failed attempts, we managed to get the big impact back there. We'll see what this does. No problem. No problem at all. There's even some anti-seize on there, but didn't help a whole lot. So we'll do the bottom one. Here we are. So now, once those bolts are gone, this is all loose. So you're gonna wanna be really careful because you do have a brake line holding onto this caliper. So you don't wanna drop it and break your brake line because it's not a fun time. Looks like it's in pretty rough shape. Even the caliper looks like it's really bad. So we're going to simply just bungee cord it up. It doesn't matter where. To my shock, which is also wore out, as you can see. And then just hook it on to anything you want. Doesn't matter. Shouldn't be there for a whole long time, so. There we go. That'll work. Take this off. Yeah, she's pretty bad. These are what's left of my brake pads. As you can see, it's like a fingernail like amount. They're gone. And then that grinding noise I was hearing was the pad's completely gone. It's a little uneven wear, and that's what was giving us our ring around our rotor. So yeah, definitely needs new brakes. Yep, same thing on this side. It's starting to get really wore down, so, and it's even cracking here. So yeah, definitely always check your brakes. Make sure they're in good working order. We're gonna put the old pad up against there. We're going to simply, let's put it the other way. Find a flat spot on the back. You don't want to crush anything important. And you want to run this up. Right up there, and then you just want to sit and tighten it. And it looks like it is moving back, which is what we want. That way we know that it's not seized and that we won't need a new caliper. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. That's about the end of it. Alright, and that is reset. And whatever you do, do not hit the brake pedal when you don't have brake pads in here, because what'll happen is this metal cylinder will overextend and fall out. And once that falls out, it's almost impossible to get it back in without messing something up, and most likely you'll need a new caliper then. So like I said, don't hit the brake. It'll be a mess. You have to replace the caliper. It's not worth it. Alright, so we're on the passenger side now, and basically what we did on the driver's side is going to be exactly the same as over here. It's the two caliper bolts up there, and then the caliper bracket bolts there. Alright, so we got the passenger side all tore down, and it's time to get some new rotors and some new brake pads. Alright, let's go. So I called earlier about some brake pads and rotors for a 2012 Toyota Corolla.
Lifetime warranty on the rotors.
Oh, cool.
Just 10%.
Oh, okay, I was wondering. Yeah, alright, thank you. Cool.
I appreciate it, guys.
Alrighty.
Yes,
Take
thank
care.
you.
Thank you. Come on, Paul. Alright, so these are the parts we decided to get today. We got the two rotors, and then there's the 4 brake pads in the box. We went with the higher end stuff. I don't like cheaping out. So that's what Napa's finest. So we'll get ready to install them, but first I want to just clean up some stuff down there. Before you start reassembling everything, what I like to do is get some brake clean. I got 2 different brands here. I got the Walmart brand and the Farm and Fleet brand. They're not full. I've used them on other stuff, but we're going to spray down this whole area right here, we're gonna spray the rotor down, and we're gonna spray the bracket, sorry, the caliper we're gonna spray down. And then I also have a little wire brush. We'll kind of scrub them up a little bit, and we'll have to pop out these metal clips. So like I said, you kind of just spray it all down. This I'm not really gonna scrub off just because there's not a whole lot of dirt on it, but I'm definitely gonna spray this off. Definitely make sure you have good ventilation when you're doing this, because brake clean is a very strong smell to it. Pop these clips off because we are no longer going to need them, because the new caliper or the new brake pads, they come with new ones. So you can see there's like a bunch of rust falling out. So we'll just kind of hit them up. And you want this, you don't want any stuff in there, otherwise the clips might not lock in. Alright, next we're going to kind of gently unhook the caliper. Spray that down a little bit. It's brake dust, there's dirt. Alright, so when you get your new brake pads, you're going to come with the new clips you need to hold the pads into the caliper bracket. Now what you gotta do is you gotta pop these new clips in. Now they can kind of give you some problems sometimes. Just gotta kind of keep working with them. Make sure you don't damage them. I have this, the driver's side, they're both the same brackets. I just have the driver's side here just to verify that the clips will go on the right way. So they just clip in like so. Last one. And that's how you install the clips. Hold the pads in. So, lot of difference in the new ones versus the old ones. So, like I said, I got the higher quality ones because I don't like cheaping out on brakes. So with these, they go together really easily. Basically, what you do is you just simply line them up in them clips. Kind of just slide them in. Now you don't want to go too far with them, because you can, and then they'll pop out. You might drop them, chip them. Not good. And twist them in like that. That'll work the best sometimes. So you just want to put it like that. And then next step is going to be put some gloves on, pull the new rotors out, spray them with brake clean to get all the oil off, wipe them down, install the rotors, and you can start putting the bracket on. So we're going to get a little bit of anti-seize. Kind of an old container. And you don't want to need a whole lot, just a little bit. Once you tighten everything down, it'll help spread it. Alright, so this is our new rotor. Much better shape than the old one, I would say. basically what we're gonna do is I just like, you don't want any oils on there. So I just simply spray it down. Take a clean rag and just wipe her clean. And they're pretty clean from the factory, so just a personal thing I like to do. Make sure there's no oils on it that can affect the stopping power. I'll put the new rotor on. Just like that. Like I said, you know, so then there's a little smudge of dirt there. Put some brake clean. Whatever you want. If you want to clean it, you can. If you don't, that's your own choice. This is going to be the tricky part. You're going to have to fit this with this all onto there and put all the bolts on correctly without cross-threading them. So make sure those aren't seized, those are good. And these bolts already have a little anti-seize on them, I see. But we're just going to put a little bit new stuff on it. And while you're down there working on all this stuff, it's always good to check your ball joints. Back here, on your tie rods, some of them do have grease fittings. Make sure to hit those with grease. Mine are completely sealed. They're nice and tight. Everything down here is nice and tight. Nothing's wore out. So we should be good to reassemble. So to put this bracket back on, you want to put the big bolts, 17mm ones back in. Just like that. And then your bracket's on. It's loose, but it is on. So now what we're going to do, take a ratchet. Unfortunately, we do not have the torque specs to torque any of this stuff down properly. We're kind of just going as tight as we can. And we're not using an impact. I don't like tightening stuff up with an impact on something like this. What I'll do sometimes, I'll take the breaker bar then, and this way you can, not a lot of leverage with a ratchet, but with a breaker bar you can kind of get in there a little bit better and tighten it up just a little bit better. And then the next step is, if you haven't done, reset the cylinder and put that back in. You want to do it now. We have the video of it. We already did it to this one. And it looks like we didn't do enough. There we go. Gotta push those pins in sometimes. That bracket. There's that. So then we'll go to put these screws in. You may have to wiggle it around a little bit. These are a little bit smaller of a bolt, so you should be able to just get it with a ratchet. Take the extension off. Nice and tight. Like I said, if you want, you can always replace that hardware. Not necessary, unless it's damaged. But then that's how it all goes back together. So everything's tight. It's all on there. So basically then you just put the tire on it and you should be good to go. What we did over there, we're gonna do on this side. So clean it up, put some anti-seize on there, throw the caliper on, or the rotor, and then bolt everything up, and we should be good to go. Put that up there like that. Once you get everything all on, what you can do, that I'm gonna do, is just apply a little bit on here, just a smidge. This will just help the tire, prevent the tire from rusting itself to the rotor. That we're gonna put just a dab on each thread, just like that, and then it's ready for the tire to be put back on. So once that's all back together, you put your wheel back on. This stuff's pretty straightforward. Alright, so now that you got them snugged up, you want to check underneath the car to make sure there's nothing under there. Everything has been removed from underneath. We just got the jack stands, so we'll jack up the car enough to grab them jack stands out. Should be enough. Now we can lower the car back down on the ground so we can finish tightening the tires up. Alright, should be good. Alright, that is it. That tire is on. You can go ahead and reinstall your hubcap. Well, first, make sure you find the right spot for where the valve stem is supposed to come out. Alright, same with the other side.